Well, you died.
Oh my
is page
gosh.
38. It's okay.
How many times am I gonna die?
I don't know. Okay. Magic honey, Zelda exclaims. That's what's sweeter than sugar. I'm going to go see that beekeeper and get some. He's mighty mean, says Aldo. Maybe you should bring him a present or something. No time, replies Zelda. Luckily, there's a full moon. Zelda has no trouble finding the small hut. As she draws near, she notices strange sparks rising out of the crooked chimney. Hello, Beekeeper Conley? Zelda calls. Answers a deep voice. Who's that? Another one of them pesky townspeople? Did you bring me anything? No, Zelda replies, suddenly recalling Aldo's advice. Sorry, I'm in a hurry. Hurry, snarls the voice. Then I'll make you hurry. Then suddenly there's a loud buzzing noise from inside the hut. A swarm of blue and gold lights flies out of the chimney and heads straight for her. Ouch! Zelda feels a sharp sting in her neck. The magic bees! Help! Covering her face with her hands, she flees, surrounded by a mass of angry, stinging bees. She stumbles into a forest without looking where she's going. Suddenly, she trips over a root and falls into a deep pit. Yow! I've twisted my ankle, she moans. I'll never get out of this hole in time to save Link. I failed. And you're dead. That's
for the third time.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens. Okay, so I believe, let's see, 57 was the number. Here we go.
Crikey.
Page 6.
Right, let us go to page 6.
All the way near the beginning. Magic honey, Zelda exclaims. That must be sweeter than sugar. I've got to get some. Please, princess, Aldo begs. Take my advice and don't go see Conley until you've learned how to make a deal with him. Zelda nods at the trusty gatekeeper. All right, she says slowly. I won't try to get the honey from Conley now. Okay, now we're going to page 24. I'll deal with him later when I'm better prepared, Zelda decides. She goes out to the main street of Rudo and looks around. Looming over everything is a dark, evil-looking tower with 5 curved stone spikes at its top. Down a narrow lane to the left, she sees lights coming from a tavern and hears sounds of singing. To the right, a lantern lights the entrance to a fortune-teller's shop. Which way do I go? Zelda sighs. There's only one solution to this maze. Find it and unscramble the letters you pass over. They will spell out a clue.
Right.
If you think Zelda should enter the tower, turn to... Okay, let me just write down the checkpoint.
I think she should enter the tavern.
The tavern?
Yes.
Okay, page 88. I'll try the tavern, Zelda thinks. She steps into the crowded, brightly lit room. No one seems to notice her as she takes a seat close to the fireplace. What'll it be, milady? The serving girl asks. Something hot, Zelda replies. For the first time that day, she relaxes a little. Then she sees the stranger. He's sitting in a corner of the room by himself, wrapped in a thick cloak of dark green cloth. His hood is up. Zelda can just see the glint of his eyes reflecting the firelight. He's staring right at her. Zelda scowls. I'll bet that's a spy of Ganon's watching me, she mutters. I could confront him now and get him off my back. Then she reconsiders. Or maybe I should leave and try to lose him in the streets. Solve this puzzle, what Zelda should do, help Zelda cross the tavern, either to the door or to the hooded stranger. She must reach her destination by jumping from person to person without landing on a monster. She can go in any direction, including diagonally, but she can't land on the same person twice. Add or subtract the number of each person she lands on, blah, 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 write the total points. Okay. Well, if Zelda lands on the door, turn to page 24, and the other one, go to page, that one, 7. Okay. Should we say that she made it to the door or to the stranger?
I'd say she made it to the stranger, honestly. I mean,
right.
To be honest, she's in a pretty crowded area, so I don't think the stranger would try and kill her. Because who knows who could be in the tavern? What if a bunch of soldiers are off shift in the tavern?
Okay.
He'd be done for.
Alright, page 7. Finally, Zelda fights her way through the crowd to the stranger's side. You! She says boldly, her hand at her dagger. What are you staring at? A weary princess, the man answers and lets his hood fall away from his face. Estragon! Zelda cries. My old teacher! I thought you were Ganon's spy! Estragon nods his gray head and smiles. I can read. At least you haven't forgotten everything, he says. Now sit down. There are real spies of Ganon lurking about. Zelda starts to tell her tale, but Estragon has already heard. You always knew when I was in trouble, she says. Do you know how I can get the magic honey? With this, he replies, and places a small flask on the table. The sap of the fairy flower tree. The beekeeper uses it to make his favorite drink. Zelda puts the flask into her pouch. Come with me, Estragon, she begs. I need your help. No, child, the old man says gently. I'm too old for such adventures, but ask the beekeeper for your help. He can get you to Link in time to undo the spell. Zelda embraces her old friend and heads for the beekeeper's hut. Turn to page 70.
Lovely.
Woo! Progress!
We love it.
The moon is high in the sky, and when Zelda arrives at the beekeeper's small hut outside the town, strange gold and blue sparks rise from the crooked chimney, and she can hear a loud buzzing inside. Beekeeper Conley, Zelda calls. Here, replies a deep voice. Who's there? A friend, Zelda answers, with some fairy flower sap. The door to the hut flies open. A short, round man dressed in heavy robes stands there, looking up at Zelda. Let's see, he demands. Zelda takes the flask out of her pouch, uncorks it, and waves it gently under the beekeeper's nose. He grabs for it, but she snatches it away. Not so fast, she says. Let's trade. The little man eyes the flask hungrily. What do you want? He asks. Honey? Take whatever you need. And he waves to a row of honey pots along the wall. That's not all, Zelda says, holding firmly onto the flask. I need to borrow your bees. My bees, Conley says. What for? To take me to Midoro Palace. I must be there by morning, Zelda answers. Conley laughs. You want to ride the bees? Okay, if you think you can. He turns toward the inside of the hut. No stinging, friends, he yells. Then he snatches the flask from Zelda and disappears into the back of the hut. You now have the honey.
Lovely.
Turn to page 49. Zelda enters the hut and fills a small jar with the magic honey. As she does, she sees that the blue and gold sparks are really bees. They land on her one at a time till her whole body is covered with thousands of buzzing insects. Suddenly, the buzzing gets louder, and Zelda is lifted gently off the floor. The magic bees are carrying her. They fly out the door and up into the sky. Through the moonlit night, they soar, heading for Midoro Palace. They arrive just as rays from the rising sun strike the tall columns from the palace. The white stone glows softly. For a moment, Zelda thinks it looks like a friendly place. Then she remembers Link trapped there. The bees swarm up into the air and head back toward Ruto. Thank you, Zelda calls. Down she rushes into the maze beneath the palace, retracing her steps until she reaches the room where Link is imprisoned. The crystal is still in the middle of the room, and Link is still frozen in it. A ray of sunlight is shining on him. Link, I'm back! Get Zelda through the maze to Link. For each arrow you pass, score 10 points. Try to find the path that will give you the best score. Okay? If Zelda has the magnifying glass, the handprint, and the magic honey, turn to page 74. If Zelda doesn't have all three things, turn to page 28. Oh gosh.
Turn to page 28.
Yeah, let's see what happened. And you died. Dang it. And it'll take forever for us to find the rest of the things.
Well, we better do it.
Alright, let me just read this first. I'm back, Link! Zelda cries. I didn't get all three things that the fairy's riddle told me about, but maybe I can undo the spell any... Crash! Crackle! A thunderclap rips through the chamber, drowning out Zelda's voice. As she watches in horror, the light falling on the crystal takes on an evil red glow. Slowly the crystal changes color, becomes darker and darker until Zelda can no longer see Link inside. The crystal is turning to stone. Oh no, Link! Zelda cries despairingly. In reply, she hears Ganon's evil laugh. He's gone forever! You failed, little princess! He mocks her. You failed! And you died, but that's okay.
That's okay, we retrace our steps.
We rewind, and, yeah, we don't have everything, but it couldn't really lead us to everything with the route we took. Unless, what if we went back to the checkpoint that had 3 options?
Oh, yes, let's do that.
Okay, I don't remember which one that was, so we're just gonna...
That was the one with the,
Here we go, okay.
Alright, so we don't go through the forest.
Oh, no, so we have the tower, the tavern, and the fortune teller.
Oh, fortune teller.
Alright, 116. We're gonna pretend that Zelda is backtracking to get all these things.
Yes. And we're gonna pretend that time just immediately stops.
Yeah.
We're gonna pretend, 2 universes crossed over and Doctor Strange gave her the time stone.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. I could use some advice, Zelda says. She pushes aside the curtain and steps into the fortune teller's parlor. Welcome! A wrinkled old woman dressed in a flowing silk gown enters from another room. She motions to a chair and Zelda sits. You have traveled far, the fortune teller says, taking one of Zelda's hands in her own. From Midoro Palace. You know? Zelda shivers. Of course, child, the old lady replies in a kindly voice. Russia can see far. You are seeking 3 things. 2 things now! That's right, Zelda cries. I can help you, Russia whispers, but I can't speak of it here. Come into my inner sanctum. She starts to lead Zelda into the other room. What's in there, Zelda thinks. Grusha seems kind, but should I trust her? This ancient scroll is a guide to fortune tellers. If you can understand it, you know what Zelda should do. Foolproof way to okay. Fake fortune tellers always create a fake name to disguise the real identity by adding 2 letters to their real names. Real fortune tellers always give their real names.
So she said Grusha.
Grusha. And, like, if you take away the A and the H, it don't make no sense.
Yeah, so she has her real name.
Okay, fake fortune tellers' real names always have more than 3 letters in them, and that is, in fact, more than 3 letters. Real fortune tellers have 3 times as many letters as the real name of fake fortune tellers.
So, 3 times as many letters, so they always have 9.
Or 3 times as many letters as the real name of fake fortune tellers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so should we trust the fortune teller?
Just trust her. We can always retrace our steps.
Yeah. 12. Oh, dang it! You died.
Again? Really?
What the heck? Zelda, you're getting too suspicious, Zelda says to herself. She follows Madame Grusha into the other room, but as soon as she passes through the curtain, she's surrounded by Moblin! Short, scaly fingers grab Zelda's arms and legs. Sharp claws bite into the iron, like iron nails. She's trapped. The old fortune teller whirls around and her silk robe flies off. Instead of the face of a kindly old woman, Zelda looks into the distorted features of a whiz robe. Do you still trust me? The underworld creature laughs with its horrible voice. Why wasn't I more careful? Zelda moans. Link is doomed. I failed. Well, shoot.
Alright, retrace.
We're going back. Okay.
Right.
Shouldn't trust the fortune teller, page 26. Okay. Grusha? Zelda thinks. Something about that name is fishy. She stops at the entrance to the other room and backs away quickly, unslinging her bow. The old woman turns and the friendly light is gone from her eyes. What are you doing? She asks in a menacing tone. I think I've had enough fortune-telling for today. Zelda backs toward the door. No! Commands the old woman. Before Zelda's eyes, Madame Grusha changes shape. The silk robe falls away, and the bent back straightens. Instead of the kindly face of an old woman, Zelda is now looking at the evil mask of a whiz robe. Get her! The whiz robe growls. The curtain to the other room parts to reveal a dozen moblin, waving battle axes and spears. In a flash, Zelda lets fly 2 arrows, piercing the 2 closest moblin. The others pour into the small room over the bodies of their fallen comrades, slobbering and jabbering in their awful tongue. No room for the bow, Zelda says as she whips out her dagger. She kicks over a tall table, pinning 2 more moblin. The wizrobe is in the corner, chanting to himself. He's going to cast a spell, Zelda guesses. She grabs a mirror off the wall and holds it up as a shield, just as the wizrobe lowers his staff. There's a flash of red light. The spell hits the mirror and bounces back across the room. The wizrobe and the moblin freeze where they stand. The spell has turned them to stone. Their future looks rocky, Zelda says as she goes back out the street and heads for the Dark Tower. That was terrible, Zelda. Why would you do that? Okay. 120 points for defeating the wizrobe. And we're going to page 105. I'll try the tower, Zelda says, walking to the base of the dark building. Those spikes on top look kind of like fingers on a hand. She takes one of the fresh arrows that Aldo gave her out of her quiver and notches it to her bowstring. Slowly, she opens the battered wooden door. Moonlight pours in through the broken windows. In the pale glow, Zelda sees a hallway with a stone staircase curving around the inside of the tower. She steps forward carefully. Welcome, an inhuman voice whispers from the shadows. Who's there? Zelda demands, pulling on her bowstring. A tall, armored figure steps into the moonlight. A dark knight, Zelda whispers. That's actually what they're called. Without another word, the evil knight charges, his shield held high, his long blade slicing in the air. Bong! Zelda's arrow bounces harmlessly off the Dark Knight's thick breastplate. She ducks and rolls out of the way. The Dark Knight wheels and stabs at her. Zelda dodges sideways and takes aim again. The back, she thinks. A Dark Knight's weak point is in his back. The tall figure charges again. This time, Zelda somersaults under the sword and jumps to her feet behind him. Zing! Her arrow finds its mark in the Dark Knight's back. The evil knight crashes to the stone floor, and his armor shatters into 1,000 pieces. Not a very friendly place, Zelda says as she catches her breath. I hope there's better hospitality upstairs. And you get 120 points for defeating the Dark Knight.
Lovely.
And we were planning to go to the tower anyway, so this works out.
And I'm hoping after this we get to go back to the tavern.
Or we hopefully find the other thing that we need, because one of them was I think a magnifying glass, something else, I forget. Okay, it was 44. Zelda trudges up the stone staircase. After a long climb, she comes out at the very top of the spire. All Ruto is beneath her. That Dark Knight was here for a reason, she says. It was guarding something. What? Her eyes travel over the battlement and stop on a strange object set in the floor. Bow in hand, she walks over to take a look. A handprint, she says in surprise. Pressed into the stone. And that mark! She shudders in spite of herself. That's Ganon's mark. It must be his handprint. Then she thinks of the riddle. What's colder than ice? She says. Ganon's hand! His touch is the coldest thing in the world! Okay, we found the second thing. With the point of her dagger, Zelda carefully pries at the stones around it until the handprint comes free. She slips the print into her pouch. Then she walks down the steps and heads for the tavern lights. Oh, unscramble each word and write it on the dotted line, then take the letters and scramble them. They will spell out what Zelda should look for, okay?
We already know she needs to look for magic honey.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, but that was the third thing we need.
There was the third thing we needed.
Which is hotter than fire.
No, let's see what's at page 88. I think page 88 was the tavern. Yeah, it was the tavern. It was the start of the tavern. Okay, let's play around with some of the checkpoints past this point. Should we go to page 7 just to see?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wait, I did it wrong. It was 24. Oh, and it just takes us back outside to decide what to do.
Dang.
Yes, okay, so we need the magnifying glass, but we have no idea where that is. Let's look at 97 then, because we haven't taken many options there. Okay, oh, that one, you need the ring for that one, but we don't have the ring, so how are we gonna get the ring? Okay, 61. Oh, stay in, oh, okay, this one, if it's stay and eat with the witch, it's probably also death, but let's find out.